What's going on, guys? Wes with another breakdown. This one isn't going to be a review of the Generation 3 Oura Ring. That video will be coming out in the future. This one is specifically on what is proprietary of, like, when you're buying an Oura Ring, what exactly are you getting that's different than any other fitness tracker on the market? And no, it's not just that it's in a ring form factor, but we'll get into it. The review of how I've personally been able to use it and my likes and dislikes of it will come out in a future video that'll be out really soon. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when that video comes out. So let's get into exactly what's proprietary about the Generation 3 or just the Oura Ring in general. Now, as far as hardware goes, they have some patents that are on the hardware, but it's not anything that's groundbreaking or game-changing that I haven't seen from other fitness trackers. Like, for example, it does use photodiodes for photoplethysmography, which is exactly how the heart rate is indirectly tracked within the device and within the proprietary software, and you're going to see that in things like the Apple Watch, Garmin's, and my Whoop strap, which is underneath. And the way companies decide to do that isn't, again, anything groundbreaking or different. It's just whatever kind of light emitting diodes they choose to use. So it is in the ring form factor. It's got a gyroscope, accelerometers, everything for activity tracking and monitoring. So that is going to be something that you're just going to see throughout. As far as like the hardware, what's proprietary, it's, you know, how it's charging, and also something that's kind of interesting, but not really a reason why you would buy the device, is how it charges, how it holds battery. This device doesn't do continuous heart rate monitoring like other devices like the Apple Watch, like the Whoop strap, which have the luxury of a larger body to hold the battery. Because it is a ring, it's got to compensate by doing intermittent heart rate tracking and using sophisticated algorithms to fill in the gaps. Now, I personally haven't seen anything that is very noticeable or just far out there different from tracking. I'm wearing 3 to 4 different devices at a time to test these devices. So their intermittent tracking to compensate for the lack of battery size is good, because this has to come off and charge on this little device, and that's not something that you want to do all the time. So having that kind of technology and filling in the gaps where possible and conserving battery is going to be very important. What's actually proprietary isn't actually within the device at all. It's the software. So if you look on Oura, you'll see what's called a readiness score. And a lot of different devices will interpret or show you in their user interface what they think is important for the user to know. Apple Watch for me is probably the most basic, and I just hate how Apple Fitness focuses on caloric burn. Other devices like the Whoop strap and now the Oura Ring are very HRV balanced, resting heart rate, recovery focused, and I think that's what's the amazing thing. What's different about how the Oura Ring does it is they really push this mental and physical stress aspect into your readiness score. Whereas I think where like the Whoop strap maybe focuses more on physical performance, and they also use HRV, which indirectly is affected by mental health, and they push meditation. The Oura Ring is more of like this life holistic kind of device that really wants you to also put in balance your physical health and your mental health, and they use that by the readiness score. So using their sophisticated algorithms, I do have the patented, I've got all these different notes and highlights on here, but basically what it comes down to is using historical data that you have given the device over time, and it's completely adaptable. What I have seen that's different with the Oura Ring is this long historical data that it's always trying to build upon itself, use algorithms to give you a better and better readiness score, and kind of just know who you are individually as a person. So nothing that they have is against population numbers. It's all about you. So it's going to have things like your readiness contributors. It's going to have your stressors, sleep, activity, and within sleep, it's going to have sleep balance, activity, previous day activity, activity balance, and body stress. Now, one thing that Oura Ring also has is this activity orientation and monitoring within the device, which kind of adds into the readiness score, because I had mentioned that it puts a focus on mental stress. So if it's finding that you're heart rate is elevated for various reasons and it's not sensing any sort of activity, then it's going to put it into a bucket of what may be a mental stressor rather than a physical stressor. Again, that's what seems to be different about the device, this balance between physical and mental stress, and pushing and giving a huge library of different things to help with that mental aspect, meditation, calmness, everything else that I actually personally think is super valuable, and didn't realize how much mental health affects overall physical performance until I started using devices that focused on this aspect, rather than like an Apple Watch, which focuses purely on filling rings, getting move calories, and not actual legitimate recovery. So as far as body stress, you're looking at resting heart rates, what they call HRV balance, and then this recovery index. So when you go to bed, it's taking all these biological signals, which is what's called out in their patent. And it wants to see some sort of improvement over the night, that your resting heart rate is going to remain stable, and then your HRV is going to be somewhat minimal, but then improve over time. So rather than a Whoop strap, which takes a dynamic average through your last sleep cycle, the Oura Ring wants to monitor your biological signals throughout the night. Now, the one thing that causes an issue with that, and it is called out all over their literature, is that if you're someone who can only work out at night, because your body is going to be still recovering when you go to bed. Another note that is kind of in Oura's defense is that nighttime, ideally for a variety of reasons, isn't the best time. One, it elevates your bodily temperature, and if you know anything about thermogenesis, how the body works and how going to bed, it's important that your body goes on a cooling cycle to trigger that melatonin. So working out at night with elevated body temperature is going to be a bad thing for your sleep. So Oura really wants to put you in the habit that if you want to improve readiness score, to try your best to find other times of the day to work out that isn't so close to bed. Because again, if you do that and your body's recovering throughout the night, you're going to have low HRV, it's going to be bad balance throughout the night, and your readiness score is going to repeatedly be bad. So it's kind of wanting to push better habits that are, you know, it's individualized to you, but it's based on science, and I totally understand that. It's just kind of an unfortunate thing that if you work out late at night, you can expect to have a bad readiness score. So then, taking all this into account, what I went over through was kind of like the basics of what's on there. If you want to go even deeper into it in their algorithms, they'll take your previous night quality, your sleep balance, like I said, how it improves overnight, and then a long history. So they're talking periods of looking at your data 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, as far going back to give the best and most optimal readiness score possible. So for the Oura Ring, that's what's going to be the special sauce, the special magic within their device. It's going to be their sophisticated algorithms, ever improving, ever changing to give you that optimal data read and that user interface that is just right in your face. I've got devices like the Whoop strap, the Apple Watch, the Garmin. They're all using similar devices. What's the magic sauce is how they're interpreting it for the user, the algorithms that are underlying, that are receiving the data. Sure, they can improve. Like for example, I think Apple probably has the most sophisticated data and the most data points they can get from all of the different hardware that they keep adding on. But then there's that exchange of battery life that they have to deal with being in the watch. Same with Garmin. And it's how you can lay it out for what's really important for the user. So as far as all fitness trackers go, if you're looking for one, I recommend something that really focuses on HRV, recovery, and balance. And the Oura Ring is something that definitely does that. So again, that's it for what's exactly proprietary for the Oura Ring. If you're gonna buy one, it's the software, not the hardware. If you're looking for my actual review as someone who does cross-functional training and various other activities, I'll be releasing that video out soon. So stay tuned, and again, hit that subscribe button. Like this video if you like it. Let me know if you have any questions. Hit me up in my DMs on Instagram or down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.